Hey, Sahar Galt here, and we're going to train the ability to recognize specific areas of the frequency spectrum. Of course, this is crucial for producers and mixing and mastering engineers, but it'll also give you a valuable perspective on arrangements, and it'll seriously enhance how you experience music itself. So let's get to it. This is the full expanse of human hearing. 20 hertz, all the way up to 20,000 hertz or 20 kilohertz. Now, to really get intimately familiar with the frequency spectrum, it can help to break it up into a few broad areas. Sub-bass, below 60 hertz. This is a deep rumble. You almost don't hear sub-bass as much as you feel it, like pressure or weight. Not many instruments play notes down here. You've got the bottom string of a bass, the lowest octave of a piano, the tuba, some large pipe organs, assorted contrabass instruments, not much else. Sub-bass definitely has a gravity, a kind of earth-shaking quality about it. But too much in this area can make things feel sludgy, losing impact, and can really hog up your headroom. So make sure you're using it only when you need it. It's also worth mentioning that unless you have great speakers, you won't hear much in the sub-bass at all. Now, between 60 and 250 hertz, we have the bass range proper. This is the part of the frequency spectrum that determines how fat a sound is. It's also where the fundamentals for most bass instruments live. Music with too much in this area will sound boomy. Too little, it's gonna sound thin. 250 to 500 hertz is what we call the low mid-range. This is where a lot of the definition in bass instruments comes from, and for that reason, this area is also referred to as the bass presence range. And while this area adds clarity to bass instruments, overrepresentation in this area can make high-frequency instruments sound muffled. 500 hertz to 2 kilohertz is what we refer to as the mid-range. This is a big part of what lends prominence to an instrument in a mix. You can hear when it's isolated like this or overemphasized, it can make things sound a bit like a horn or a little tinny. The upper mid-range occupies the territory from 2 to 4K. Human hearing is extraordinarily sensitive in this area. It's where we get the sensation of attack on percussion instruments, and it's very important for intelligibility of speech. For music that has vocals, it's a good idea to leave a little room in the upper mid-range, a pocket for the vocal to sit in. That'll save it from getting masked or buried by the other instruments. The presence band lies between 4 and 6K. It's responsible for clarity, definition, and is a big part of our perception of closeness of a sound. So panning gives us control over left to right in the sound stage. Volume, to some degree, gives us the cue of size, and the presence band is a way we can control distance front to back. And above 6K, the high frequencies, is where brilliance lives. Virtually no instruments have fundamentals up here, not even the highest key on the piano, but cymbals have a lot of energy up here. Sibilance in speech does. This is also where that ineffable quality of air comes from. So a mix that's deficient in this territory will sound quite choked or claustrophobic. Okay, now listen once again to the track with the full frequency spectrum playing, and see if you can focus in on each band. Simply direct your attention to that area, then we'll highlight it to see if you're thinking of the right spot. Can you isolate the sub-bass? How about the bass range? Can you hear the low mids? The mid-range proper. Upper mid-range? Presence. And the brilliance? By the way, if you're finding this challenging, that's okay. This takes training. And over the course of this series, we'll do exercises to hone your skill, as well as discuss specific techniques to put this into practice. And by the end, you'll have the ears and tools of a seasoned pro. All right, that's it for this time. Special thanks to my patrons for making this video possible. Drop by my Patreon page if you'd like more exercises to help you develop this skill. And any questions? Ask me in the comments. Make sure you subscribe so you catch my future videos. And as always, thanks for watching. I'm Sahar Gold. I'll see you next time.